Hello? What? That's crazy! I've spent the last 15 years building behind the scenes. Partnerships with Nike, Meta, Snap, even creating the AR effects for Dua Lipa. And now I'm building in public, and I've got to say it's pretty tough. You know, there's some days where I don't want to pick up the camera, and there's some days where I've got a lot to share. But we're here, we're documenting the journey, and this year there's a lot exciting stuff happening. I'm creating a networking app called Creator Sports Club that's launching soon. I'm developing SEMO, which is my consultancy and advisory, and also looking at how I can package up my 15 years of experience in sales and content and all things creator economy into a coaching offer to help people grow their personal brand. And then the third thing is one of my big clients is Brand Innovators. They work with Fortune 500 global brands, CMOs, marketing leaders to connect and learn at different events. And we're just about to hit like the busiest time of the year. We're gonna be at Cannes Film Festival, we'll be at South by Southwest London, we'll be at Cannes Lions, which is like the Oscars for advertising, and then we're gonna be at Wimbledon tennis. So it's helping them kind of book the best venues, get the right people in the room, and it's something that I love doing because over the last 15 years, I've hosted my own events. I have my own events business, bringing the retail tech industry together, and I've also hosted different events with Soho House through my SEMO platform and podcast. So I'm documenting the journey. There's a lot of insights and tips that I'm going to share, and I'm excited for this journey.
The sky's falling, the wind is calling, stand for something or die in the morning. Section 80, high power.
Such a good run. It's such a great way to start the day. Got quite a few meetings, go back to the office, but first need some caffeine, so let's go get coffee. We've got a lot happening at the moment. Like I'm definitely feeling like it's a bit of the calm before the storm. It's meetings, it's launch strategy, it's creative direction, it's planning, it's sponsorships, it's sales. Like there's a lot happening. I think the main thing to think about for me is like time management, something that I have struggled with in the past and I'm not great at it, but I'm getting better. Like because realistically, like right now I'm like building 3 businesses. You know, I've got Creator Sports Club, which is going to definitely take up a lot of time when that launches end of April. Super exciting, and hopefully a lot of travel that will come with that as we kind of activate in different key markets. You know, with SEMO, it's something that I've been working on for a long time. You know, started off as a podcast, started doing Soho House events, bringing industry leaders, creative tastemakers together for panel discussions. And what was kind of funny is that I actually started off by doing it offline first as like a in-person event, and then people just loved the conversation, so they wanted me to actually make a podcast. So I was building that, and then was looking at having that as an agency, but now kind of really evolving that into more of a consultancy and advisory. And what that's enabling me to do is work with different clients, and Brand Innovators is one, and coming up with like a super busy time. But I think if there's one lesson I can give to people that are, you know, entrepreneurs or working on different projects, it's about communication. Communication. Like it's really actually about over communication. It's one of my biggest bugbears as well. Like don't ghost people, that's number one, but also over communicate. And I think especially when it comes to client servicing, like don't forget you're being paid for a service and you're also the expert in the room. So what that means is if you're being paid for a service, like respond promptly, over communicate. If something not's going right, let them know. And the best thing to do is literally pick up the phone, have a conversation, do not text, don't email. It's the best way to just be real, be human, and kind of overcome whatever obstacle you're doing. And then the second thing is you are the expert in the room. You're being paid for your expertise, and that gives you license to say no and to push back. And I get it. Sometimes, you know, you have a paying client and you get a bit scared, like you don't want to piss them off or make them unhappy, but don't be a yes man. Have the courage to say no, because they will respect you so much more for it. All right, so we are in the office now. To be honest, guys, just like trying to share a real day in the life. Like sometimes it is kind of boring because I'm just behind the laptop. I printed these off. If you'd seen the vlog around Creator Sports Club, like it's super exciting because a big project we're working on is this new networking app for creators to meet in real life. So to kind of give you an idea, like it's about having this iOS glass design. So keeping it super clean, using some really cool imagery, super inspired by this photographer, Danny Easton, and hopefully we're going to be working with him to really capture the energy and the vibe. And it's about creating a world for your brand. It's not just about the product. I think if you look at companies like Gymshark, what they've done so well is that they were community first. They've created an amazing product, they've built community, they've shared the similar values, and together that brand has just evolved and grown over time. And Ben Francis has done such a great job and such an inspiration for British entrepreneurs. When we come to the website, again, keeping it super clean, photography led, a few kind of key buttons at the top with the launch cities, and just make it super easy for people to understand what it is, what you're doing, how they can get involved. All right, let's talk about bespoke partnerships or strategic partnerships. I've been in the sales game for about 15 years. It's not for everyone. I think there are sales guys that can do the normal off-the-shelf selling. For me, I've always been one to be quite creative, entrepreneurial, but also love coming up with different ideas in response to challenges that people have. And the context of this is me working in different creative agencies. And so a lot of the times, yes, there's a brief, but then there's also insight around what they're doing. And so one of the big tips that I would say is go outside the box. And what I mean by that is do your research, see what that brand is doing, what they have done. And in the initial kind of sales call, it's all about discovery. So don't get on the call and show them your pitch deck. Actually, don't have a pitch deck. Ask them a lot of questions. So it's the process of discovery. It's understanding how many markets they're in, what they're trying to achieve, what is the volume, what are the formats that they're trying to work with, the different creative formats. Do they want to work with creators? What do they want to do? And the idea is that the more questions you ask, the more of an understanding you get from them as to kind of really where they're trying to go and what they're interested in doing. And then from that, you can then think of, okay, what do we do to help this client with kind of some of the off-the-shelf products that we have? But also when it comes to a bespoke partnership, how can you help them achieve their objectives through something a bit more bespoke? So a great example, I worked with Meta when they were launching a new suite of products for Meta Spark AR. And so what they wanted to do was educate creators to learn how to produce their first AR effect. And I learned a lot about this, and I came up with this kind of idea of having a digital online festival, really engaging creatives, so more of the makers and doers like photographers, filmmakers, graphic designers, those people that already had the skill set of creativity to then learn how they can produce their first AR effect. And so we worked with Meta on this. We created kind of the world's first online digital festival. We had a competition tied to it, and it was just an incredible way of helping Meta achieve their objectives in terms of brand awareness, but going that one step further by engaging creatives and helping them learn a new skill that then ultimately would help Meta, because then they're going to have more variety and different creators on the platform. All right, let's talk about negotiation. I think a lot of people, when they are selling something or putting a partnership agreement together, especially if it's a bespoke partnership agreement, there is this feeling or need to make sure it's perfect. You don't need to do that. I really am a big believer in getting something out first because it's going to be negotiated upon. So if I think a lot of the deals that I've done where they're complex or there's different moving parts, the best thing you can do is capture all of the key deliverables, all of the key things that you have said in those initial meetings. And it's great news if you're at the point of going to a contract or a partnership agreement stage. But I find there's some people in the team, they think it needs to be perfect and just wait and kind of almost guessing on themselves of what needs to be in this document before they can send it to the client. Don't do that. Get all the detail down and then send them a draft, because it's just V1. And in my experience, no client has ever said yes to the first draft of the agreement or the document. I think you need to go in with the idea that this will be negotiated upon. All right, and I really do believe in kind of the few key lessons that I shared today. It's something that I live by every day, and I think for anyone that is looking at growing a business as an entrepreneur, as a founder, some may be tech founders, some might not have the commercial experience. The three things are communication, make sure you're over communicating, be proactive, be on the front foot, do not be or allow reactive. Like, that's the worst place you can be. Don't let clients ask you for stuff. You want to be the one giving them ideas, being proactive, being on the front foot. The more that you can communicate and give, the better that relationship will be and develop over time. Number 2 is the power of bespoke and strategic partnerships. It's not always about what's on the off-the-shelf kind of products. You know, there is a time and place for that, but I think the greatest thing that you could do to evolve as a commercial leader is listen and ask questions. It's called discovery. Ask them what they're trying to achieve, their objectives, and work back from their kind of launch date, and be that guide, be that expert. And honestly, the amount of insight and questions that you will get from just shutting up, not presenting a pitch deck, but using that initial call to really learn about the business and what they're trying to achieve, you can then go away with the expertise that you have on your services and the products that you have, and come back with, this is what we could do for, you know, a lower tier, a mid tier, a higher tier. And the higher tier could be, you know, the dream, where you want them to get to. And be open-minded and know that they'll probably come in smaller, but then that is because they want to test with you, see if the relationship works, and then from there it will develop. Number 3 is negotiating. Don't feel that you need to have a perfect V1 partnership agreement draft. It's just a waste of time. And the worst thing you could do is delay yourself by 2 or 3 weeks trying to put together this perfect document for the client, when in reality you're just losing momentum, and the client's going to think like, what the fuck are they doing? So get together a foundation with all the good details. It still look good as a V1, but just know in your brain that it's literally a discussion tool. Ask to have a call, go through the different points, and know that on that call it's going to be shaped together, and then align on what you're going to do. And then as a follow-up, ask for a weekly or a bi-weekly call, so you're literally lock in step and in sync. And those are the 3 ways that I can tell you right now you will level up your commercial mindset, but also make those clients happy. For lunch, I'm being healthy. And whatever we do. Alright, so that's a wrap on the vlog. I really wanted to kind of give you a bit of a sense of what I'm doing in the day. As I mentioned, like sometimes it is kind of boring. I'm just sat behind the laptop and working. And so to kind of give you a sense of that day in the life, going for a run in the morning, the best way to kickstart the day, whether it's a run outside or on the treadmill or any kind of gym work. Like for me, having that routine where I'm waking up early and the first thing I'm doing, I'm not checking my phone, like I'm going and doing some exercise. And for me, I think I have the most creative time in the morning. Like I save a lot of my complex tasks and kind of some of that deep work for the morning. You know, I have kind of a fresh mind, and that's when the most brain power is. And something that I've been working on as well is wanting to read more. So I honestly will say, like, just try to read 10 pages of a book per day. Have that as like a habit, and you'll be blown away by like how much you can read in a short period of time. And a lot of the times, like, the book's good, you plan to read 10 pages and you're reading like 20 or 30 pages. So yeah, that's a great habit that I'm working on at the moment. And yeah, you know, I like my office. It's great to have a nice view over London, super lucky, and get to work up there. And in the summer it's great now that the times have changed, because you can look out to the view and get a lot of inspiration just by the world going by. And sometimes you kind of need to peel your eyes away from the laptop to come up with that aha or a eureka moment. So I know today's lessons were a bit more on the commercial side, but I just think it's about confidence and believing in yourself. But I know that over time, all the small things will add and shape you into the person that you want to become. You just have to do that thing. You have to try that thing. You have to fail. You have to learn. You have to take a challenge and just fucking go for it. To wrap this vlog up, you know, this was a day in the life. You got to see a bit of my routine. Some days are like this. They're just kind of in the office, you know, trying to get in some exercise. I really, really appreciate you for watching this long. I'm building and developing my content, my personal brand, and every week I'm putting in the reps to bring better YouTube videos. So I really appreciate and thank you for your time. I want to hear from you guys. So if you have any questions on some of the tips or the lessons that I've shared today, or if there's anything else you want to learn a bit more about, then please reach out and put a comment down below, and I'll read them all and I'll follow up in the next vlog. But I hope you have a great day wherever you are, and thanks again. I'll see you in the next one.